Welcome. It's another episode of the Appalachian Alliance. I am your co-host, Tom Reiser. With me, as always,
Mitchell Church.
Mr. Mitchell Church. It's episode 4 of Survivor 48, and we open up with something we don't really get anymore, is the rain.
Yeah.
And Survivor players complaining about the rain.
The rain in Fiji. Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Green Tribe, I mean, they're on no man's land. They've won nothing. They have no luxury. So that is a down-in-the-dumps kind of atmosphere. It has to be, you know, but you're still in Fiji. You're still on Survivor.
Right.
That's what you got to tell yourself, positive self-talk to get you through that.
Yeah, and the way I think about it is, you know, I remember Russell talking about the rain, and he said, I hope they are miserable. I hope everybody around me is miserable. I hope they're thinking about going home. Yeah. I hope they're tired. I hope they're cold. But, you know, it only lasted like one night or something, so that's not going to happen. Yeah. I mean, not in the 26th day. Nobody's going to tap out.
I hope not.
Because
hope those
of the
days
rain.
Are over. Yeah, exactly.
At least.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, they start out going after an idol hunt because they know an idol has been played, and they do the nice thing and they leave a little stick note for Mary, which was sweet. Of course, Say is angry with Cedric again. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. This is going to be a recurring theme.
I think we're going to see a lot of these two button heads.
And just Say getting mad at somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's going to be upset with somebody the entire game.
Exactly.
I just know it.
I think that's how she just channels her emotions, like she has to blame someone. Yeah. And that's just my own perception of her, is that okay, she's one of those people that, well, if they wouldn't have done this, I would have had a better shot. You know, it's not taking accountability, and it's putting the blame on someone else. Yeah, so,
right.
That's what it seems like to me.
We've all met those people who cannot take accountability for their own actions. Yeah, and they just constantly, look for somebody to blame because, it couldn't possibly be them.
Me.
It couldn't be me. I'm perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is Say and Mary BFFs now?
I think. I think we're seeing some very advanced gameplay early on to where they know, like, you're good, I'm gunning for you. I think it's just a show. I think Mary is just, even on Mary's part, I think, because Mary fooled her once with the, she played mind games and it worked, and I think Mary's just doing mind games at this point because she knows it works. Why not? I mean,
it's possible, but, sometimes, did you ever have that friend in, elementary school, and maybe you even got into a fight with them?
Yeah.
And then the next day, they're like your best friend?
You bro down, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
That happens.
Yeah, it does. It does happen.
Like,
and that could have happened with them.
Yeah, I've had that situation where, you butt heads with somebody, and then maybe you even throw hands. Mm-hmm. And then the next day you're like,
what's up, man?
You know what? You're all right.
Yeah, I had you pegged wrong, man.
Yeah.
That's
and it's what it could have been, right? Yep. Hopefully they see each other at the merge because it's the fake out challenge. Mm-hmm. Drop your buffs.
Yep. And this was very much needed for Green. Green needed this. This was their saving grace. What'd you think of the tribe swap, Tom? What'd you think of? Because a lot of changes happened.
A lot of changes.
Even Jeff commented, like, there is a lot going on here.
Right. Yeah, and that's what this is all designed for.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Eva and somebody in my TikTok comments wanted to make sure that I say Eva instead of Ava. Because there is no A, it's EVA. So I'm whoever you are, I'm changing my ways.
We listen and we read comments,
even though I shouldn't. Eva doesn't do well with change.
No.
Right? And Joe is not going to be there.
You immediately see her hands starting
anxiety.
to move. And she's...
The anxiety, she's partially melting down here.
Mm-hmm. But she got a new buddy.
But, yeah, she bonds with somebody here in the next in the next segment. But Joe and Eva are split. Bianca is alone.
Yes.
She's the lone person from her former tribe, and the California girls are still a thing.
Still together.
They're still together. It's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And here's a list of the new tribes, okay? Siva, which is Chrissy, Cedric, Bianca, Mitch, and Say. Mm-hmm. Vula is Joe, Camilla, Kyle, Shaheem, and Thomas. Lagi is David, Eva, Charity, Star, and Mary.
Yes.
And if David doesn't think of David's Angels, he's totally missed an opportunity.
Yeah. Poor David on an all-girls alliance. But as we learn from David, he grew up with 3 sisters, so he feels right at home.
Right.
And he says he's very empathetic, and I believe him. I'm starting to like David. He's growing on me as a player.
He's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's trying to do good things, and still, I think he needs to leave that woman alone that he's got at home. But I don't know. I don't know. If somebody leaves you because of money, that's not somebody I want to have around. But I
think he's got a good heart, though.
He does have a good heart, and that's what I'm worried about, right? I don't want that guy to be taken advantage of.
To me, David, he reminds me of like a Rupert in like he wants to play a pure game. Right. No deception or the least amount of deception as possible. He seems like an honest player, and we haven't seen that a lot. That's old school Survivor.
It is.
And
I think they did that on purpose.
Us of that. Yeah, and that's a good reminder to be like, oh, you can be a cool dude and an awesome and honest person and win this game.
Because Joe is saying the same types of things, right?
Yes.
That he's trying to be a good man. He wants to play an honest game,
dad,
which is very rare. So. We go back to the Loggy Beach. David and Eva, they hook up immediately.
Yes.
They're vibing immediately, and Eva offers up Star
on a silver platter.
Right?
Which to me, good gameplay.
Yeah.
Good gameplay.
Yeah, if you're like, hey, I'm not with this person that we were formerly on a tribe with.
Yeah, take your shot.
And go ahead, because I don't care.
Yeah, as long as it ain't my name. That's
right.
And that's
as long as it ain't me.
Yeah.
That's Sandra, baby.
Yep,
the queen.
Yep.
Shout out to the queen.
We love you, Sandra.
Yeah.
But yes, I thought even with her, being on the spectrum and stuff, that's still brilliant gameplay. Like, look, we're not tight. I'm offering her up that I'll give you information, and she just blabs. So sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah. You gain trust that way.
Yes, you do. Information is currency in this game. And Eva just gave a whole bunch of trust and information to her new tribe.
Right.
Very smart.
Yeah, I think so too. And a fantastic social gameplay.
Yes.
By Eva. So we go to Siva, right? And Siva has a bunch of cassava.
Yeah.
Do you know what cassava is? Because I had to Google it.
I don't. I still didn't look it up. I assumed it was a potato or something.
Well, ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won. It is also known as a yucca or manioc.
Okay.
It's a starchy root vegetable native of South America, a staple food in tropical regions, used to make flour, eaten cooked like potatoes.
Okay.
So yeehaw, Mr. Mitchell Church, we about to have fried taters on Survivor.
Hell yeah, man.
Do we
Just
have
need
any
some
bacon grease?
Gravy, ain't it?
We need some bacon grease.
Yeah.
To fry that cassava up.
Yeah.
And
I've never heard of it either. It's the first season where I've heard of I just assumed it was a potato.
I've heard of manioc before, but I didn't know what that was, right?
All right.
But it kind of looks like a sweet potato.
It kind of does, yeah.
And, it's got a white interior like a potato. But you can make flour with it. So, it's weird. Anyway.
Deep fried taters on Survivor.
I mean, fried taters in Fiji. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'd be right at home.
I'd be digging for days for that stuff,
and they give them the cast iron skillet
already.
Yeah,
they do, yeah.
That's what they give them.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some coconut water in that cast iron skillet. Get it scalding hot, and then cut them taters up and throw it on it.
Son. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All that talk about taters, we had to have a Tudor's Biscuit World break.
Yeah.
And I went down and got me one of them big taters with the gravy. That's how I like them.
Well, I got the little tater with cheese and bacon.
Yeah.
You can't talk about French fried taters long enough and not have to have some.
Right, yeah. I mean, we're Appalachian, are we not?
It's in our blood, man.
You talk to a West Virginian about some taters, we're going to have to peel them and fry them here in just a minute, okay? Yep. Preferably with some onions. I like little onions or maybe some ramps in mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My papa used to love them with greens and bacon grease. But anyway, so they had a feast. The Orange Tribe had a feast of taters and food and whatnot. And
I wonder if they got ramps in Fiji.
That's a good question.
That's somebody out there. Google that.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Jeff Probst, do they have ramps? If you ever hear this, do they have ramps in Fiji? Please.
We need to send that into the On Fire podcast to see if they got ramps.
Yeah.
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
So Say is really happy with the new resort.
Yes, and it looks great. Their camp looks great. I will say, as far as Survivor camps go, the Green Tribe really they were living, it kind of reminds you on the edge of extinction days, where they're trapped out there with hardly no water and no food, nothing. That's what the Green Camp looked like. So Say is just at a 5-star resort now.
Yeah, the Vula guys. I think that's the green ones, right?
Yes.
It is rough, man.
Yeah.
And what it reminded me of is a bunch of city kids trying to survive. Because their camp was awful. Their shelter was like, it was half a shelter. They're lucky it didn't. It didn't rain on them.
After seeing that shelter, rain would make you devastating because you didn't have a shelter. And Tom, that's another great point about us Appalachian, West Virginia boys. When I go on Survivor, by God, I'm building me a shelter. I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I want to get a good night's sleep.
Right.
And I want to be off the ground from all the creepy crawlies. And I want to keep the fire going because that keeps the bugs away. And there's going to be bugs. But still, that's just stuff we know.
Yeah,
man.
It's stuff
we survived that way.
Yeah, we have been trained.
Yes.
We've been trained one way or another how to survive. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these folks have never even pitched a tent.
Yeah, or left the city.
Right.
Yeah.
So another thing, Joe says, it's like I was getting ready for the house party. Right. I'm getting ready for the house party. And I got a good shirt on. I got my pants pegged.
My beeper or pager.
He's got his pants pegged. That's what got me.
Yeah.
And I got my Bo Jackson cross trainers on.
Yeah.
Right. And then mom and dad comes home. Yeah. And there's no party.
There's no party. Yeah. So I love that analogy.
Now I had to look up the Bo Jackson cross trainers because I couldn't remember, and I thought, okay, this is gonna date old Joe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I looked up the Bo Jackson cross trainers, and if y'all can see those,
oh my God, that is the dad grass cutting shoe right there, boys.
Well, in 1990, okay,
that was the shoe to have.
That was the shoe to have.
Yeah.
Okay, Bo Jackson was the man.
Oh yeah,
I don't know whether you remember.
Well, I don't remember, but I wasn't. I was 2 in 1990. But
oh God, now I'm old.
But
now I'm the Matt Damon gif, where he's really young and then he's old, that just happened to me. Because I remember these And they were the shoes to have. That was the number one shoe in 1990, okay? Because Bo Jackson was the man. He was a two-sport athlete, and you could not stop him on either field, right?
Yeah.
And so that dates old Joe if he was going to a house party in 1990
with his new Nikes on, man.
Yeah, right.
They look sweet. I'd love to have a pair.
I mean, and I looked them up, and they're reissuing these.
Oh, well,
so,
good.
If you're really into the into the Joe look in 1990, you can hook it up. I thought that would be good for reference.
I loved his story. Getting ready and then because what a devastating blow to go from a great tribe to a winning streak. To go to quote unquote Loserville, where they have nothing, not a tarp, not a pot. They, as we say, I ain't got a pot to piss in, boys.
Right, or a window to throw it out of.
Yeah.
So, and then Thomas, with this quote here, it was fantastic. He said, "It just screams we lose here."
Yep.
And I thought it was perfect by the editing crew because that's a little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We lose here.
We lose here.
And that's exactly what happens later in the episode. And here's a reminder: Thomas has a steal a vote. Just in case you forgot. And
that no one knows about.
That nobody
knows about.
Right?
Except him.
And so I thought Kyle and Camilla played all of this with perfection.
Yes, those two, if they are not final three, I will be surprised because they executed their plan flawlessly. And I really think it was, what's her name?
Camilla.
Camilla's
She's
idea,
yes, mastermind.
Because she threw it out there that like, oh, well, I'm on the bottom.
Yes, and
he just ran with it.
They bid it.
Yes,
hook, line, and sinker, and there was no doubt in anybody's mind that Camilla was on the bottom and that they were not working together. And so Camilla tells them about how Thomas lied about the journey.
Yep. She blew his cover,
and that's blew his cover.
That's why Thomas wanted her out,
right?
Because she is exposing his truth. Because the California girls didn't know about Thomas's advantage,
exactly.
And to Thomas's credit, if I was playing the game, if I didn't trust anybody wholeheartedly, I would keep that to myself as well. So I can't knock him for that,
right?
But it came back and bit him in the ass. So
well. Here's the thing, I don't know whether it did, because he came up with a lie so quickly and so slick that California girls bought it.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
And he said...
I didn't think of that,
because he immediately came up with a lie that was plausible.
Yeah.
He said, girl, you wasn't there. You have no idea what happened.
You just lying about your own advantage, I think, or something like that. Like,
right.
He spun it very quickly.
He spun it very quickly and perfectly.
Yes.
And his alliance bought it. And I think Thomas, man, I think he would have been a player, right?
I think that they did right. I think that if they wouldn't have got Thomas out, he would have definitely made merge. And Thomas could have went far in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you can lie that well, that quickly and that well,
Reminder, he's in the music industry.
Yeah, he's a music executive, so lying is his bread and butter.
How many times has he been painted into a corner and he's had to lie himself out?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Come on. Probably with some questionable humans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Artists are generally unhinged just a little.
Yeah, well, and two, in the music world, those contracts are, you have to have specific lawyers just to look at those contracts and all the deals and all that. So I'm sure he can maneuver that. But
yeah, they're predatory.
But yeah, and I think he'll be back. I really do. I think he will be a returning player.
Yeah.
Because he was a good
50.
player. And I'll say he was a good villain. Now, I may not like him for what he does for a living because, I'm a musician as well. But and I know how the record industry can be. But I think as a Survivor player, he was smart. He was calculating. He didn't, share information until he needed to.
Right.
And he never got to that point to kind of, forge that end-game bond.
Right.
But I think those two played it perfectly.
I mean, it was a masterclass in deception.
It was. Yes, that episode should be, this is how you play an advantage. This is how you play a vote. This is how you set up tribal. This is what you say. Oh, man, I'm on the bottom. I don't, they just played it perfectly. They didn't even mention nothing at tribal about their deception or anything. They just played it perfectly.
And they went into a situation where they were down in numbers with a solid 3 against 2.
Yes.
And somehow came on top.
That is just excellent gameplay.
Yeah.
Excellent gameplay.
Yeah.
That is Survivor. That's how you do it.
So here's an interesting fact. Cedric used to stutter.
I love that connection with him and Mitch because you don't see that a lot on Survivor, for one. And for two, it was great to see him and Mitch connect and kind of forge that bond of like, oh, I've been through the same stuff that you've been through. And I loved hearing them talk about their exercises. Like, okay, I got to work on my M's today, and I got to, it was a very nice moment.
Yeah.
I think, those two they will probably be aligned.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though, him and Say kind of come from the same tribe, I don't see him and Say working together, to be honest. I don't see it. I don't.
No, I don't think it's happening.
I think he'll go with Mitch, and he'll try to get rid of Say.
So Survivor absolutely wished they were going to be on the same tribe.
Yep.
That was a total setup.
Yep.
And because they do extensive background checks, right? They talk to these folks for months. And so they were aware that Cedric used to stutter.
Yes.
And they had another fella that still stutters. Mm-hmm. And so, it just masterclass in casting. Because
and production too. To take that time to
figure that out.
And Mitch is just being like, he's kind of like a challenge beast too, man. Like he's just killing it in these challenges.
He's a gym class teacher.
I know, man. Like the basketball episode, he just granny shotted and the new challenge that we saw the last episode with the big box and you had to throw the bags through the obstacle. I like that. That was a new spin on an old classic.
Yeah.
But again, Mitch, I hate to say that Green came in bragging because we've already talked about the tribal. Green loses the challenge, but Green comes in and says, this is Loggy's first victory.
Right.
And
that's overconfidence.
Yeah, well, and that proceeds back to what you said. This is where losers live. Well, you just got a taste of it.
Yeah,
bub.
we lose here, right?
Yeah.
So now, Cy and Bianca are going to work together. That's going to happen because
now Bianca doesn't have a vote, correct?
No,
and she hasn't told anyone yet. Right?
No,
good.
So now, David is talking to Eva about who should go next. Of course, David doesn't trust Charity, who was on his former tribe, and now Eva does not want Star around either, which is from her former tribe. Yes. So I don't know, maybe some tension there going forward to try to see who's going to go. Who knows?
How are they going to coalesce to get someone out? Are their factions already growing, or can they come together as a tribe to say, okay, this person is the least likely to help us continue on.
And then people get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And alliances are broken.
Yes, tribe strength is big pre-merge.
Yeah.
As it always usually is, because, you hate going to tribal, and if you have strength, but there's different kinds of strength. And Eva says that. Eva says, I would rather cut a big guy than a puzzle maker because we got plenty of muscle. we don't have a lot of puzzle brains,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's a valid point.
It is, and that's underrated.
It is.
It's underrated. Somebody who can just look at a puzzle and figure it out. It always comes down to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Every time.
And I tell you right now, if I ever get to be on Survivor, I ain't doing no puzzle. I don't want that pressure. I'm not going to sit in that hot seat and be like, I got it. No, not me. I couldn't do it, man.
I would do it if I needed to.
I would do it if I needed to, but I will never fall on the sword of, I got the puzzle, guys.
I'm a visual guy, right? So I think I would do all right, but you never really know, right?
Well,
until you're under the gun.
And here's another great production thing about Survivor. You never know what puzzle you're going to get. You don't know if it's going to be a classic. You don't know if it's going to be new. You don't know if it's going to be a twist on a classic.
Right.
You know, like they had this one puzzle where it's hanging upside down like a bat.
Yeah.
Count me out. I can't do that, man. I mean, you know, the sliding puzzle maybe, but you know, the big tree puzzle that they do, I'd like my shot at that one. You know?
Right.
But
it's all about the patterns.
It is.
You match those patterns up, and that's where the heart of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can match those patterns up, you know, then you can get things done. But I digress.
But correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't Loggy have the lead?
They did.
And then
Vula. That's the green.
Yeah.
I think that's the green tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So right out of the gate in the challenge.
They're a great-looking tribe. They look stacked, both physically and mentally.
Right, exactly. And so Vula is in the lead in the beginning. They all are head-to-head at the puzzle. Vula thought they had it several times.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
And called Jeff, right?
Yeah. Jeff,
but when you've got blank portions of the puzzle showing, you ain't got it, baby.
Nope.
You know, you got to go back.
I think they just got caught up in the moment of like,
oh,
we see all the sides that we see. And Jeff has to run around the whole puzzle and be like, nope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Loggy makes up time and gets it first.
Yeah.
David's Angels came through in the end. I'm coining that one. He needs to pick that up on X, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tweet at him after a while.
Yeah.
I'll send him a reel, you know? Maybe I can get a retweet or something.
Maybe.
So Siva figures it out, and Vula goes to tribal again.
Mm-hmm.
And what my father-in-law is, who, you know, he's a classic Appalachian character, coal miner all his life, grew up on Bradshaw Mountain in McDowell County.
Yeah.
Okay, he'd say Vula's beach is witched.
Yeah.
You know, he'd say this place here is witched.
Yeah.
You know. And so it meaning it's cursed,
or took a shine to it. Yeah.
This place is cursed.
Thomas says
this is where we lose.
This is where losers live.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You know,
Mary Say and Cedric all the first time not at tribal the entire game.
Yeah.
So
tears of joy on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
You can see it on Mary's face. Just.
Yeah.
You know, thank God.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get a break.
Well, she's been under the gun. The entire time.
Yes.
She played her butt off last week.
And she played her shot in the dark. Did she not, to be safe? Yes. So I mean, Mary's had to play hard. So it's nice to see players, you know, get a break.
Exactly.
You know, well, it's one thing I hate about Survivor, seeing the same tribe going to tribal.
Yeah, every time.
It's just like, come on, man. I want to see what other, you know, what other plans are brewing, and you know, and it's great to see a new tribe at tribal because you get different aspects of the game that you might not even know about.
Right, because they're going to bring up what's happening.
Exactly.
You know, or Jeff is going to try to bring that out of you.
Yep.
And that's why. And I hear these tribals are like 3 and 4 hours long sometimes.
Oh my God.
That they sit there for 3 and 4 hours talking. Right?
That's an interrogation.
Yeah.
That ain't a tribal.
Yeah, and the less you give Jeff, I think the longer it goes. Because he's trying to pull things out of you, and you might as well give him something.
Well, and that's his job. I mean, the man's just doing his job.
And he's good at it.
You know?
He's been doing it for 25 years, 26 years now, since 99.
We love you, Jeff.
Yeah.
We love you.
So Thomas says, a tale as old as Vula this is happening. He's great with these one-liners.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss him. And, of course, Camilla and Kyle put on a masterclass in deception.
Yep.
Shaheen goes through Kyle's bag.
I did not like that, and I'll tell you why. We are raised in Appalachia to be honest, hardworking men. You don't go looking through other people's shit.
Right.
I was raised that way. I'm sure you were raised that way. But it's a $1 million game, and it's in the rules. If you ain't breaking the rules, then, and what was his name? Kyle? Was that the bag they went through? Was that Kyle?
Yeah.
Kyle was freaking out like, it was in my shoe. Did they look at my shoe? Did they touch?
Yeah.
So I get that it's for gameplay, but personally, I don't like seeing that. To me, that's a last-ditch effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
because back in the day, you couldn't look through a bag. You just had to.
Right.
You just had to know it in your gut, or you were duped. So,
if I've got an idol, I'm gonna treat it like my pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm keeping that thing on me
at all times.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And be able to get to it. And you don't want it to fall out in a challenge or something like that.
No.
But you also don't want to leave it in a bag so people can find it.
Well, I was thinking during the tribe swap earlier, God, what if somebody left their advantage at that camp?
Right.
I mean, what if a player was like, well, my idol's back at Vula, but I'm now a Loggy,
And now you got to tell, hopefully, one of your alliance in another tribe, hey, there's an idol under the, whatever.
Yeah.
And hope that they either play it correctly or maybe return it somehow. I don't know how that would shake out.
That's why it would be good to, like you said, have it on you at all times. Because if you come up to a switch, you are prepared to make big moves, and that's exactly what Camilla and Kyle did. They had their stuff with them. They came ready to play, and by God, they played, and it was a great episode.
And in the end, I have seen it on multiple seasons where they do a tribe swap or they do a challenge. And then they're like, okay, we're going straight to tribal.
Mm-hmm.
And this person doesn't have their advantage or their idol on them.
Yes, that's true.
That's happened multiple times.
Yes.
And ruined people's games over and over and over again.
All because they didn't take that extra precaution of
I'm
packing that stuff around.
I'm going to keep that thing on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, don't get caught without one.
Yep.
That's the lesson here. And I did see some drama on X. Evidently, Kyle tweeted something about don't let me catch you going through my bag. I'll break your fingers or something like that. Now, I didn't see the original tweet from Kyle, but I did see Shaheen responding on X. Wow. Go ahead and try to break my fingers, son.
I like Shaheen, but I didn't like going through the bag. That kind of he's smart though, but if that's in the rules, but personally, just that goes against my upbringing of going through the bag.
I wouldn't feel right about it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
$1 million is a lot of money.
It is. It is.
So,
but.
We won't know till we get there.
It's a bad look,
Yeah.
And what I liked, they got to tribal there, and a lot of people say this about themselves in Survivor, and this was a good quote I thought from Camilla. She said, "I was focused on people underestimating me." Let me try that again, Camilla. I was focused on people underestimating me. But who underestimated me was me.
Yeah, very strong quote.
And just tears, right? Because she realizes that she is stronger than she realizes.
Yes.
Than she knows.
Yes.
And that's a very powerful thing for a person to take into themselves. That I am not the weak person that I thought I was.
And in its purest form, that is survival.
Yes.
Survival tests you, and this show can test you. Just like Thomas said, I've been tested. I'm forever grateful.
Right.
He said all the right things that, he should have, and I would feel too. Like, you should learn stuff about yourself. And you've said this before, that, relationships on that island are like, a day is like a year. So to get to know somebody and to get to know yourself,
Right.
Can you imagine the mental health, clarity that could bring? Like, I could do anything I want because I've done this.
Right.
That's amazing. That's amazing to me. And I
then
loved her quote for that. That's very, as a counselor, that's like, yes, that is positive self-talk. That is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people, when you go there and you can't rely on the noise of everyday life.
Yep.
You can't put music on. You can't put a podcast on. You can't watch Friends or whatever for the 100th time to kind of drown out what's going on in your own head.
There's no distraction.
There's no distractions out there. You're alone with your thoughts or what somebody else next to you has said. So it can make you or break you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you better be ready.
And I think that's what happened to a lot of the previous players is they got shell-shocked, and that's why they wanted to quit these past seasons.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. They got out there and they didn't like the person that they saw in the mirror, that they didn't have these distractions, so they bounced. You know,
they couldn't take it.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't take their internal monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
If they have one, but some people don't.
Some people don't, but still there's you have thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And they're either positive or negative, and you've got to, be comfortable in yourself, or it's going to come back to you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And that we've spent time in the woods alone, right?
Oh yeah.
Without technology. We're old enough to remember before there were cell phones, and we had to just go out there with our thoughts.
Yep.
And it was when we were kids, it's go play. Mm-hmm. And if there's nobody to play with, you're outside by yourself.
Yeah. I think that's something I'm trying to bring back for my kids is fostering imagination within the woods and within Mother Nature, because you had it too. You had to imagine. You had to, I'm climbing this castle, or I'm, going in this secret air base, or what, what kids do is use their imagination. Technology and cell phones are killing that now.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
A great way to use imagination is just like those two did at Tribal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they played it up until the end.
Exactly.
They answered Jeff just like, this reality, like
She's
Mary,
on the bottom.
They leaned into the bit, and they stayed there.
Yep.
And something I saw, if they put all the votes on Kyle, right? Mm-hmm. Camilla and Kyle are fine with the idle play.
Yeah.
Right. So, but there was an extra vote.
Yes.
Okay. So if they surprised them and put the votes on Camilla, and Kyle uses the extra vote, then it's a 3-3 tie.
Yes.
In the revote, Camilla can't vote, but Kyle can.
Yes.
Along with the extra vote, he can tie it up to 2-2 and bring it to a deadlock.
Yes.
And that would have been interesting to see. Now, we don't know whether he played that extra vote or not.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come to that. There was enough votes.
Yes. I don't remember him playing the extra vote. I just remember him playing the idle.
Exactly. But
now, I remember he spoke about the extra vote when he went to go up to write the name down.
Right.
But did he use it? I don't know.
Well, it didn't come into play.
Show. So
yeah, we didn't show. So maybe we'll find that out next week.
Which, if they were smart, they'd save that extra vote, because now the other two California girls are going to be pissed. They're going to be out for blood.
Yes.
And they're thinking it's 2-2, which in reality it's not. With the extra vote, it's 3-2,
exactly.
and they still had the majority.
Yeah. So let's hope that they didn't burn that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did, just in case.
Well, no, because that's to them, that's their last shot.
Right.
Like, I have to use everything at my disposal just to get an extra day.
Because
so I can't really knock them if they did play it, because you're just shooting for the fences, man.
Yeah.
Like you're trying just to get to the next day.
Right. You got to survive to the next day, and you worry about what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, you worry after the fallout. During the fallout, you don't.
Yeah. So he played as his idol. Thomas goes home, and he's very gracious in the end, which you always should be. I don't know about being bitter when you get voted out I mean, I haven't been there, so I don't know.
I
think
don't
it's
know,
about.
man.
I think it's situational, right? I think some of it is situational. If you get voted out by your own alliance, and you've been lied to,
like Michaela,
right?
The Michaela vote out with that head swinging back. What? She's so pissed she left her shoes.
Yeah,
that'd be me. Son.
Yeah,
that'd be me.
Yeah.
But then after, I'd be like, man, you got me.
You got me.
I respect
back
that.
at Pondy,
Yeah,
I'd be like, y'all got me.
Yeah.
I'm cool, man. Don't worry about it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I'm thinking, this
You-
is my kid's future.
you
This is my, you son of a, Oh, yeah. They'd be beeping me for sure on there. Yeah.
So, all right, Thomas goes home. Now, next week, I hear it's going to be an exciting time, and evidently, Say is causing some chaos.
Imagine that.
And I can't wait. I think it's going to be good. This is turning out to be a very good season of Survivor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is, this is 48, correct?
Yes.
Next season better hype it up before 50 because this would be a great season to, follow into 50 because I hope next season has this kind of energy because there's just some seasons where you watch it and you just immediately know, like, man, it's going to be a great season. And in the new era, those are far and few in between.
Yes,
this season
true.
is a great season of Survivor.
The last season was good. 47 was great. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we get another one this year. It's working up to that. I did see that in the voting for 50.
Yeah.
They voted to do away with fire at 4. So there will not be fire at 4. They're going to vote somebody out.
That's bullshit. But the people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
I know.
I think it was 67% of people voted down making fire, which I'm a little disappointed.
I am. That's your time to shine if you need it.
Yeah, it's an extra card.
Exactly. Well, it's an extra spot to your resume.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
I've
saying.
seen winners, like I've seen Final 3 get asked that question. Well, if you think you could beat so-and-so, why didn't you beat them at fire?
Right.
And, well, I didn't have to. Well, no, you kind of needed to prove a point.
Yeah.
So, that, and again, we're country boys.
Right.
We're pyromaniacs, man.
Yeah, let's fight it out.
Yeah.
I'll make a fire in a second, buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, and it's fine with me.
Yeah. So the fire, I'm bummed about. I'm bummed about that.
And you won't get a dramatic fire-making challenge like you got last year.
Oh, it was great. Down to the wire.
Teeny
awesome.
winning fire from behind.
Yes.
Was a classic Survivor moment.
Yes.
Which is rare in the new era.
Yes.
I hate to say.
It is. And that was a beautiful moment. It was great. It was nail-biting. The best fire-making challenge by far.
Yeah, for sure.
For them to not have that on 50. But the people are voting, and they've spoken, so we're in the minority on the fire. What have you looked up what others?
That was the one that caught my eye. The rest of them were kind of peripheral to me.
Okay.
That's the only one that I could remember. But I don't know. We'll look it up and see what
we'll get back to y'all that next episode, guys.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a TikTok on it or something. Maybe we'll do a TikTok on it or something. All right.
Deal.
So, all right, that's it. What do you think?
Well, depending on who's going to tribal, I could see Say going home.
Yeah, if she's causing chaos, she's a likely candidate.
Yeah, I hear chaos and I think Chaos Cass.
Yes,
one of the greats.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Cass.
Yeah, Cass, I love you playing, man. I love Chaos Cass.
Yeah.
Because Chaos Cass got far in that game for sure.
Yeah.
But if she's making chaos the right way, and that's what Cass did, Cass made chaos the right way. I think Say's just losing it. I think she'll go home. Now, if David's Angels goes to tribal, I don't know. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be very interesting tribal.
Yeah.
And if Green goes back to tribal, that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, because they're split now.
And we don't know if the extra vote was played or not, so we'll,
so stay
looking forward
tuned.
to it, man. Looking forward to the next episode.
Next time on Survivor.
That's right.
All right. Well, the holler is spoken, y'all. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you. God bless you, baby. We love you.